Hey, everybody. Before we get into the show, just a quick reminder, my comedy special, Thin Lips, is out right now. I'm really happy with all the support and everything that do I feel like I'm reading like from a hostage? I'm really happy with all the support and no, but I just want to make this as short as possible because it gets long and annoying. Keep watching, keep sharing. Thank you, everybody that has. Thanks to everybody that's watched it multiple times. You're the best. I love you very much. Let's get into the show. Hello. Before we get into the show, I got to promote something. Me and Mike Cannon are doing a live show where we're playing our characters, Mary Jean Rigatone and Frank Rigatone. Look that up. We're called the Rigatones. We made a couple of videos of that. It's very fun. It's very funny. And we're doing it live in front of an audience. Will they get it? I don't know. I barely get it. But it's next week. If you're in the New York area, please come out. Tickets are available now at BrendanSagalow.com. It's going to be a blast. I hope to see you there.
The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed, now here's my dumb voice.
What's up, y'all? We got a special episode for you tonight. We decided to do our own little people's court because you know me, you know Sagdaddy. Sometimes when you're the god, you know, kings gotta get hurt. I don't know what that means. You know when they say like, what's a king to a god or whatever? So this is the situation that's happening. You know me, I just say whatever I want, and I don't really care how people feel until after. So on a recent episode, a fan favorite, Joe List episode, I made some comments about the old podcast, Here's the Scenarios Patreon, that were a little hurtful to some people. And specifically Mike Cannon. And I guess Feeney. So I don't think he knows anything about this. So Cannon decided, you know, we wanted to have him on, Mike Cannon, to come on and promote his new special, Traumatized Animal, which you can check out in the YouTube link, in the info link right there. And but also two birds, one stone, because Mike has had a grudge to pick, would you say? What do you call that? A bone to pick. Oh, bone to pick, Bobby Kelly. He's got a bone to pick. All these fucking comics that are coming out with fucking star, like, game show podcasts to try and be Are You Garbage now. It's hilarious. Fucking, hey, how about, hey, what's your favorite color with fucking... I don't know. Hey, what's your favorite color with Ryan Long? You know, I get comics on it. We talk about our favorite colors. So we got Cannon coming on because he wanted to defend himself over the words that I said to him. So we got a really special episode. We're doing a people's court. Also, if you want to see me on the road, go to BrendanSagalow.com for tickets. And while you're at it, check out Thin Lips, my comedy special. Now, let's get into the program, the law program, the court, what do you want to call that? What do we call that? You know, I almost wanted to hire a black guy to be the bailiff. I almost called my buddy Napoleon, to come in. He's a big black guy, to just stand there. And I was like, what a waste of time that would be for him. I was literally going to be like, I'll pay you $100 to just stand next to us. And if Mike gets a little fucking handsy, you intervene. But now, is that racist? I don't know. What a horrible time this is. I don't think I've ever grown up in a good time. You know what I mean? I think like from 1 year old to like, from 0 years old to like 9, I think was, whenever 9/11 happened, my life has been fucking horrible ever since. It's all been boogeyman bullshit. What are you looking at me like that for?
Whenever 9/11 happened,
Yeah. Well, I was in 5th grade.
you know exactly when 9/11 happened.
2001, okay? 9/11, 2001 was the last day I was, or 9/10, 2001 was the last day I had any type of life that could have been good. Since then, 9/11, recession, depression, fucking housing crisis. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Depression, recession. This is like rappers when they're trying to be like, look, you gotta talk to the kids, man. So we in a depression, a recession, money crisis. It ain't funny. So
Can someone also please make some type of design or throw pillow or something that has the quote you just said before on it? What did you say? I've never grown up in a good time.
I've never grown up in I've never been born in a good time. I've never, whatever I said, but it's literally just been like bullshit ever since to this day. And apparently I've never been on the news before, but it's never getting any better. So that's just a little something that I want to say. But we have such a funny show. You really see the dynamic of me and Mike. I mean, maybe you don't. I don't think we got too much into our dynamic, but whatever. Mike's the best. I love him. Check out his special. Thanks for supporting me. Let's get into the show. I feel like I should do the chicka chicka cha and you should do the...
Okay.
You want to do it?
Ready?
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors, clearly. They've never even been given jobs as actors. You can cut that. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the Cat Hair Lair. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their court cases and have their dispute settled here, in our forum, the Poople's Court. Yeah, and spell it poop. Okay. All right, Nicole. So you have to lead this. Okay? Because there's usually a judge.
Yeah, not discussed
Well, I need
at
a
all
script.
before we started.
Hold on.
We don't need a script. You just go, we'll start with Mike.
Well, explain what's happening. You as the host of the show.
I explained it in the monologue.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll explain what's going on and everything within the monologue.
Gotcha.
Okay? This is the court case. And we'll say, Mike Cannon is suing for
friendship.
For friendship back pay of I'll make it up while we're walking.
You know what?
in.
Actually, I'm suing for your entire portion of the Patreon earnings over the course of Here's the Scenario.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to go back, audit whatever you made as a third of the company, and take all of it.
Okay, so that's what Mike is suing for. I'm going to counter sue for distress. I'm countersuing for distress and of years, and that's including with Irish Goodbye.
Okay.
Of years of assault and just plain old meanness.
No, I was telling you were using too much salt.
I'm suing for assault and pepper. So
I'm taking yours.
I do have a script,
okay, hit me.
which is clearly for like a middle school mock trial, but
Let's
it works.
let's do
We don't
it.
have a bailiff. We don't have anything.
I was actually
Where's the
thinking
cat?
about getting a.
It smells better in here.
I put I put the candles out and I sprayed some Ozium and I put the litter box in my room.
It's amazing what like car blunt
Right.
spray can do for just everything.
Dude, finding Ozium at that, like when I was younger and I found Ozium, it was like a lifesaver. Because
Yeah.
I was constantly getting caught by my mom walking and going, because I smoke full blunts in my room.
Of course. Oh, in your room.
In my room, yeah. I was a fucking moron.
My 98 Chevy Malibu, because I took it up to school and in the winter would just hold smell.
Oh, of course.
No matter what, you'd spray it down and you're like, oh my God, this is the Alps. It's
Yeah.
as fresh as it gets. And
I-
then
I
you'd walk in
love
the
that.
next day and it's brutal.
I love that when it's cold out and you get in a car and it smells like the weed you just smoked. I fucking love that. That's like one of my favorite things. And it's cold and you're like,
Yeah, it's great when you forget about it though, and you're like, "Come on in, Mom." You pick her up, and you're like, "God damn it!"
Well, one time my mom, it was a long-standing thing of me and my mom being like, "Stop smoking weed," and me being like, "I'm not." You know what I mean? It really just came to a head when I was like, "No, I'm never gonna stop."
Yeah.
And they were like, like you can't do anything with that because for the longest time I'm lying. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like it's lying versus stop smoking. And when I was just like, when they were like, we're going to buy you a drug test, I went, save your money. I'm smoking weed.
Look at see it's almost a brilliant piece of negotiating by you, which is actually sharpening my strategy for this case.
Oh no!
But you,
the two people talking before the court case.
You wore your parents down to the point where you simply telling the truth wasn't victory enough.
Well, I'll tell you what. For
Like,
this
all right,
case,
he's not lying. At least
for this case, my whole strategy is I'm sorry. My whole strategy is you're
Wow.
right and I'm sorry. But. Let's just there's other things to be said.
Let's see if that strategy pays off, Johnny Cockring.
But one time we were in my car and my mom was like, stop smoking weed, blah 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 blah. And then she one time pulls up, I'm in my room, I'm watching TV, she calls me and she goes, Brendan, can you come down here for a second? I'm in your car, come on down. And I go, okay. And I go outside and I go into the car and she's like, there's like a bunch of rocks and like little pebbles and stuff on like the dashboard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom goes, she thought she fucking had me. She went, what do you think that is? And I go, it's fucking rocks. That's like rocks. You think that's weed? Smell it. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I got out of the car.
First of all,
I was so pissed.
Would you fucking sink your car in a koi pond? Why did you have
my buddy
pebbles
Luke
on
used
the
to
dashboard?
My buddy My buddy Luke used to put his feet up on the dashboard and like, while I was driving, he'd put his fucking feet up.
I would.
on the passenger.
That would be an immediate eviction from my car. Get the fuck.
I thought it was cool.
My friends. This one time I didn't realize it, and they kind of told me, but I thought it was so preposterous that they were kidding. I drove my buddies to watch Giants like preseason or off-season workouts. And they were like, oh, we're going to have some Pop-Tarts back here. And I was like, okay. And they're like, we're not cleaning up after ourselves. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, we're smashing it in good. And I'm like, okay, like just don't. I'm driving everybody. Yeah. And then after I dropped off everybody, I looked in the back of my car and under the floor mat, they had ground in all of the fucking Pop-Tarts in my car.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got into like a huge fight the next time I saw them.
And don't you wish you could take them to trial? That being said, perfect transition to the actual court case. That was just a little preamble. Just to let them know.
Sometimes lawyers like to just casually have a conversation before going to war.
The lawyers who are also representing themselves have a conversation.
I kind of have a co-counsel, but go ahead.
No, you don't.Nicole, you have to be biased.
Len bias.
You mean unbiased?
You have to be unbiased, but you have to be biased towards me.
I see. Okay, so how this is going to work is I'm going to say hello, introduce the case, and then we're going to do the opening statements.
Excellent.
Okay.
Members of the jury, who I suppose that's the YouTube commenters.
Oh,
that's
good.
the YouTube commenters.
I don't need
a jury of Brendan's peers.
I'm not going to swear them in here because there's no way.
Can we swear us in?
I suppose.
Do you have a Bible? Do they still swear people in on the Bible?
Yeah, they do.
Do they put a Quran
if
you're not Catholic?
On the Chronic? I was thinking about doing it on the Contact High, the visual history of hip-hop.
That's a good one. All right. Here, I'll put my right hand on it.
It's kind of gross. Yes. Wait, are we at that part yet?
I don't really know if that's a thing that happens.
We'll do that before you talk. I'm
not really good at improv.
Do you
I can't come up with something.
We'll both do it. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
On Marshall Mathers' biography, I do.
Okay.
And do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
No. All right. Let's go. What happens if you just say no? You go, no.
Trial's off.
Yeah, they go. No one's ever done that before.
Wow.
No one's ever tried that before. Wow. This just got so interesting. He's going to be lying the whole time. All right, okay, yeah.
Members of the jury, your duty today will be to determine whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty based only on facts and evidence provided in this case. The prosecution must prove that a crime was committed and that the defendant is the person who committed the crime. However, if you are not satisfied of the defendant's guilt to that extent, then reasonable doubt exists and the defendant must be found not guilty.
And that's exactly how it's going to go.
Your job is to prove reasonable doubt. That's it.
Right. My problem is my whole case is I am guilty.
So do you want to settle? Is this over? Should we just never put this out? You have a 5-minute episode.
Make us both wear suits, and then I'm like, I'm going to settle out of court for a couple million.
Can I pay for your drink?
Can you bring coffee into court? Yeah, right. Like, could I have coffee as a prisoner?
Yeah. What do you think? It's PED? Oh, as the defendant?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Good question.
That's a good question.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah.
Is the prosecution ready?
I am. So this case, it's an easy one. There's several instances of this exact argument that played out over the course of Here's the Scenario as well. But we'll focus on a recent episode of Brendan Sagalow podcast, Sagdaddy da Pod. Actually, I helped you come up with this name, correct?
This is your opening statements?
He's also the witness.
Yeah, am I the witness now?
We're both witness, jury, everything.
Make your opening statement and then question the witness.
My opening statement is that Brendan Sagalow, a former friend of mine, is guilty of besmirching mine and Nicole C. Lyons' work, extra hard work on the Here's the Scenario Patreon. And this is a thing that has been resolved in the past because it has already been a conflict. And for some reason, Brendan Scab Sagalow decided to lift it up during a podcast in front of a comedian that both of us admire and look up to, and really just plunge a flat sword directly into my sternum without me there to defend myself. So that's my case.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube comments.
I already lost. God damn it.
My case as a defendant is
White Castle.
Is
30 burgers.
Look, I was just trying to be funny and I'm guilty, but it all comes from love and it's for the bit. And as we know, what would Patrice say, right? What would Patrice say? As long as it's trying to be funny.
Funny and unfunny comes out of the same breath. Shit, am I on your side?
Exactly. There you go. So I was just trying to be funny. And I think if let's just throw this in there. I think you were being a crybaby.
Okay. Wow. Countersuit. Mike is being a crybaby.
I've also and that's our opening statements.
Yes.
Right.
So typically this is where you would call witnesses. I'm
But
sure
instead,
you're just going to fight.
Can you edit that scene or the part of the Joe List and Brendan Sagalow conversation?
Yes.
So for those of you, you will be aware once you see this scene, but this has been an argument I think we even had on air for Here's the Scenario.
Because we had a Patreon for Here's the Scenario. Did anybody say that to us or anything? Were they ever like, why are you guys fucking charging for anything like that?
No, not until the end. But there was way too much stuff on there, like multiple extra episodes.
That was another
vlogs,
thing. That was another thing.
Raps.
We would get into huge arguments because I didn't put anything on the Patreon, and they would always put stuff. And Feeney barely put shit on it. Cannon was always pumping garbage into it, and I was just like, I don't want to put bad quality stuff out just because it feels like, oh, well, there are people paying. We need to actually put some more stuff, get everything. They were like they were trying to suggest shit like Cannon's like, you should review burgers. Like what a hack fat guy thing that would be.
Do you hate these guys now? Because I'd love to tear into them.
No.
All right, damn.
No, I don't
But
hate.
when you do, let me know. I'll call you and tell you
I don't
some-
hate Cannon.
Here's a scenario, former podcast. Great fun that I had with two of my friends, one of which current, one of which former.
That could be anybody, too.
Yeah, exactly. So that we fought tooth and nail to get that goddamn podcast off the ground, promoted it left and right, two of us harder than three of us. But, and also worked very diligently on the Patreon, especially since we were a pandemic podcast and it was birthed from necessity in terms of,
we were pissing
earning
against
more
wind.
money.
We were pissing against the wind a little bit.
What do you mean by that?
When we started, it's not my time to talk.
It is when you interject with
You're right.
something nonsensical.
You're right. I was saying when we started, it was hard to get it off the ground, is what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't. It was a pandemic podcast that we created on Patreon. We posted it on our social media. We gathered a small following of devoted devoted fans, and then we grew it from there. Once we went free, Irish Goodbye was over.
I
All
like
of
that
those
you're wearing
things.
glasses, like when a black guy gets in trouble and goes to court, and they make them wear
I look like
glasses.
Eminem settling his assault charge. I'm like, what, officer?
What? I'm a nice guy.
Did you ever see
I'm wearing glasses.
the footage of him just kind of like Troy pursing his lips
Yeah.
throughout that trial?
It's like, yeah.
So this, my big thing when it comes to this, and man, even going through it in my head, I really do feel like a crybaby. But Brendan would, routinely have absolutely nothing to add to the Patreon. He would routinely say, I just can't, I don't have any ideas. I don't have this. I don't have that. Nicole and I, just in an effort to gain income for the three of us, we weren't gaining more money because the two of us were creating. It's not as if like, hey, we did the only content this month, so we get 100% of the share. It was, no, we did all this content this month, and we all split it. Correct?
Objection, irrelevant. Irrelevant.
Overruled. That's the basis of this whole conversation.
No, there's a crime that had been committed, and this has nothing to do with the crime.
Well, yes, it is. It's creating context about what a bad guy you are, and what an unsupported.
trust? Look at our suits. Who do you trust more?
Who are you gonna trust? A guy with dirty ankle white socks?
Come on.
Wait, this is also going to be such a good follow-up episode because the one that comes out before this is the solo where you're talking about that interview your dad set you up for.
Right. This might have been the suit, too, that I was wearing. This and the watch.
That's the last time you wore it, too.
Yeah.
You
I
just
was like, I'll
punched it
never
up.
wear this again.
I was telling Sagalow, I was like, what is that? Would you just throw that in the closet the last funeral of your friend you went to? That's
I
literally the only reason I ever wear a suit.
Yeah, this still smells like flowers.
Yeah, new friend died. Press your suit.
Okay.
So the statement came when you were talking to Joe List, and you guys were taking shots at me, at Feeney, which is fair game. Make fun of me, punch me, do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
because I actually really do enjoy that, and God knows have I doled it out to you. So I earned it 100%.
there
Then
you
the
go.
topic of why did the show end came up, and the sincerity in Brendan's face and voice
Right.
came out. What is Brendan's joke cadence disappeared, and then came through was we were putting up dog shit constantly.
Right.
It just was low quality content. Saying that in front of the producer of such content, don't you dare interject. And then also, we're just saying it in such like Cannon's throwing God whatever he wants up there, and then would throw me hack ideas like hey Brendan, why don't you do a burger review? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Which here's the thing,
Scenario.
Buckaroo. Here's the scenario, Brendan, is that was like the last suggestion of 100,
Right.
where I was desperate trying to get you to pull your own fucking weight, or actually just pull the weight of somebody half your size, and to try to get you to create any type of content. Because what were some of my other ideas? Do you remember?
No.
Mark and Branders.
We did Mark and Branders.
We did Mark and Branders, so that was another one of my ideas.
I put up rap songs. That was not one of your ideas.
That
Sorry.
was my idea as well. I was saying, Brendan, put your fucking raps on the Patreon because I love them. I think they're great. I'm the most supportive person of you that exists,
true.
I think, in the entire world, which, you know,
Do we have
much,
evidence of this?
much to the
Do we even have evidence of
Let's
that?
tally up the reposts of or me posting a clip of his special and him fucking
What?
posting a story for mine and all of his just
I
absolute.
put up a clip of your special for White Privilege Homeless.
Oh, 2 years ago.
This is irrelevant to the case.
That's irrelevant.
Well, I'm
That's
just
a different
saying,
case.
It's not. All right.
Throw that away.
Yeah, bookmark
Throw that
that for
away.
next case.
Throw that away. I'll do it
Jury,
right now.
please
Send me. I'll
disregard
do that
this.
today. Send me your fucking.
But can I also say that while saying burger review, what a hack premise that would be.
The
Actual in anger. The actual
I've decided to lean
centerpiece
into it.
of your podcast coffee table is a fucking burger.
It's more of a cat.
And the raps were the rap is your talent and your ability. I do think that you hopefully gained some confidence from my encouragement, which I was like,
I did.
You're really good. This is great. Somehow your brain fully clicks on anytime you're thinking of words that go to a beat. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
It clicks on in no other capacity. But when you're
Irrelevant. Irrelevant, Your Honor.
sustained.
But
I was very encouraging. And you would put those up every now and again, begrudgingly.
Right.
And then mostly in bursts, and then you'd go 4 months without posting anything.
I think we need evidence for this stuff. This is
Does this sound
this is all
incorrect?
hearsay.
Does this sound incorrect?
It's correct. This also reminded me through all of this that you had, like, you're like Kendrick, where you would be gone for so long and you drop something unbelievable. Like
And
when
that's how you do it.
you did you did your weight loss series. Do you remember that?
I remember the weight loss.
What a hack premise!
It was a weight loss thing.
Right.
But it was so
I'll tell you the
good.
difference between
Whose idea
the
was
weight
that?
loss video.
Whose idea was that?
Not you, Ari's.
You're fucking out of your mind, dude. We were together with Ari when we came. That was when I went to Batavia and you went somewhere else and we did our stupid fucking short, what was that? Catchphrase?
Oh, right,
We
right.
literally came up with it at the same time.
Right. Okay. Well, that does seem to
I am wearing shoes.
that does seem to click a little bit. I mean, I don't remember it, but also we have no evidence of it, so you know,
the Patreon has since
it's
been
all
deleted.
hearsay. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we could go back to the Patreon. We could have gathered a bunch of evidence for
Truly.
this, but
That would be pre-production.
that would be just work, right? Okay. So
if
what
we're
else?
not willing to plug in an iron, we're not willing.
Well, yeah, right. I don't even want to pour water. I don't even get water in this place to put into the iron. So, do you have any questions for me as your witness, star witness?
Question. I don't have any questions because I just know what comes from the
I'm
answers.
sitting in the thing, and you go,
Is-
"No questions," because this guy's a fucking idiot. You go,
Well,
what?
yes, what I would like
I
you
want
to
to call
address.
Brendan to the stand. No questions for this retard.
What I would like you to address is why, since we have already ironed out this exact conflict where you've said this on the show before, where you don't want to put up bullshit on the Patreon, which as in a vacuum on its own, I completely understand and I
Right.
think you're correct.
Right.
But when we're also trying to build a podcast
Right.
together as a business,
Right.
we were trying to basically shotgun blast content
Right.
to make it worth people
Right.
signing up. So it's not just going to be the additional episode. It was all of this additional stuff. And together we had planned to make it like our channel, like our production hub, where we would put really high quality shit that hopefully people would help fund
Right.
by joining the Patreon. And the way that Nicole and I went about that was, okay, let's spend our own money. Let's go out. Let's start filming shit. None of which was done on a fucking Nokia Razor.
No, it was all
or
very
whatever. It was
professional.
all, thanks. Thanks now for saying that. Not in front of anybody we both admire.
And still
What's
sarcastically.
funny about that? I'll have my words. I'll have my words when it's my time.
Good. And then I just want you to address the sincerity in your face and
Right.
voice, and I hope you rewatch the clip because it's hurtful every time
We
I
have
do.
watched the clip. We watched it before you came here,
Okay.
too. Okay, now it's my turn.
Yes.
I'm sorry. No, I said I was sorry. I knew exactly. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime case where we're still going, even though I've admitted to guilt. That we're still going.
This is like fighting with a girlfriend.
Yeah. I go,
You're like, I already
I'm-
apologized. I'm
Yeah,
guilty.
what do you-
And I'm
how
like,
many you
but you
want?"
must repent.
Yeah. Okay. Bum, bum, dum, dum. Okay. I did say I was sorry because here's something.
It looks like you lost your kids this morning.
And I'm celebrating.
You're like, all right, pumpkin foam for the coffee.
Catch you at Skankfest next year.
To your kids.
Yeah. So I do apologize. I've had this problem. I mean, this is more serious, but Lev also was like, dude, like, you know, because I said on a show, I went, Lev sucks. I just went, Lev sucks. And I'm kidding. In my head, saying you were putting in dog shit and whatever, like, that's not how I actually feel.
Okay.
I mean, I feel it a little bit.
Okay,
But-
see, that's what I know. And why do you feel that? Is that a defense mechanism for your own, for not posting yourself, for not creating yourself, for not pulling your weight in the business relationship?
Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't realized this is a lot like a relationship because those were all the wrong problems I had in that relationship. And now that I'm in this new podcast, Sagdaddy to Pod.
That's right.
I'm kind of trying to fix all that stuff and be the leader and be the person that's coming up with ideas and stuff like that. And
Who else is there?
I do realize that there's
you're left to your own devices.
I do realize,
that's like jerking off and being mad
Nicole
at your
are
partners
partners
for not being talented. It's like, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. This sucks. Jerk me off better, idiot.
Sustained. Objection. Sustained. So I am, all of this is irrelevant, by the way. The real thing is I was more kidding than I was. It's like when I shit on Feeney. Like I'm shitting on Feeney. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't really feel that way. I mean,
Objection.
kind of. If I'm like, Feeney's a hack.
Objection.
What did I say? We were listening to one where I go, in that episode, I was like, Feeney's a hack. And I don't really feel that way.
Objection.
Cut to us on the couch, me and Feeney on the couch in suits. Dun, 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 dun. Just kidding, fucking. I'm like Eminem. I'm like, how many court cases will I have this year? So I am just, my whole case is I was just kidding. I don't really 100% believe that. And when I go, he was putting in, it wasn't about you. It was like, and he's just putting in dog shit makes me laugh. Like if I said like Cannon was putting in a lot in and it was all really good and blah, blah, blah. That's not funny. But if I go and Cannon's throwing in dog shit. Now, if I said it like that, Cannon's throwing in dog shit. That's the way I should have said it, but I guess I said it more.
Well, because when you say
Lev said to me too, he goes, we watched it on his show. He was like, look at your face, look at your sincerity. I was like, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
maybe
I think you're the bully. I think that's what's being revealed here.
I
Is
don't
that
mind
Brendan under the guise of what? I'm too shallow to know how to connect my thoughts with my facial expressions.
Right.
I can't possibly do both at the same time.
Well,
where you're saying it makes you laugh. Show me that on your face.
Right.
Show me that as the reaction of Joe.
Well, I'll tell
Show
you
me that
what.
in any indication that it was fun to you.
I'm trying to practice being more honest. Whereas when I was with Joe, I wasn't being honest in that moment. I was going, Cannon's throwing in dog shit, blah, blah, blah. But if I was being honest, I go, Cannon probably took the fucking lead on it. He was putting in so much stuff. I didn't want to put, I'm more quality over quantity. Not saying your isn't, but I know if I was putting in as much stuff as you were putting in, it would not be good. It would be.
Sure.
It would be.
But also, don't you think your quality over quantity thing is, first of all, insane? It's an insane thing to say. Because are you Kendrick? Do you come out with a project every 5 years and it's the most meticulously planned out thing of all time? Or did you almost also not put out the special you just put out, but I had to nudge you across the fucking finish line?
Didn't put that out. Yeah.
There you go. Nicole didn't even know that.
But I didn't almost.
I did.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, Nicole did every day. I was always like, should we not do this?
And who through warmth?
You know what? And I'm
love,
thinking that special set me back 8 years. So you know what? You are in trouble.
Disagree. And again, for your
I'm
listeners
kidding,
who think that I'm this callous asshole to you,
right.
which I am not. I'm actually a very supportive person. We joke. You're
the most supportive person in my life.
There you go. Outside of Soder now, who Soder's more supportive because he has a bigger platform.
No, but I mean, even compared to you and Soder, like Soder doesn't tell me I'm like, he doesn't call me and be
sat
like,
with you and watched your special with you?
You did.
Who held your hand and told you it was funny?
You did. Okay, but this is all irrelevant. See, now, when I was saying...
Anything that helps me is irrelevant. But I was just kidding. Even though there is no physical evidence, play it back again. Play it back again.
Well, we
Show
did listen to it, and I went, okay, this does not sound like I'm kidding. But to be fair, I was nervous around Joe. That's my argument. I'm nervous around Joe. I don't know how to land. I'm so nervous. Look, I'm nervous around Joe. He's a big, we admire him and all that stuff you were saying. So, sometimes when I'm trying to land a joke, it doesn't come off the way that it was.
Okay. Now, Nicole, in the moment, as somebody who is sitting here, did
Can we take a recess?
Wait, it's just me and you playing on a swing downstairs.
Yeah.
Did your antennae go up when he said that, or are you just used to Brendan kidding so viciously at your expense?
Sorry.
To be honest, I did think he was kidding because he'll just say shit. Like he'll just say shit to say shit.
That's a foul blowout. That's some fucking evidence.
I did think he was kidding, but I was really loving feeding into the fire of it all in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which made me really nervous. You know, people love you. You love doing that. You and Feeney, you love doing that.
Well, and Brendan,
when Mike's mad at me, you.
Well, how did I? Again, how did I
fire.
happen upon this?
Well, you
even?
were listening. Okay, so this is what happened. I said the thing, and I was feeling bad about it. I went, it didn't really seem like I was joking there. I almost asked Nicole to cut it out. I almost went, it's not needed. I don't look like I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always talking shit. I'm just constantly talking shit. I gotta stop doing it. I gotta put a little fucking
No, this is what makes you great. Keep spouting. Keep going.
And I went, Mike's not gonna hear this.
What are the chances that my friend likes my work and listens to it?
Little did I know Mike listens to the show.
I don't.
Big fan.
I actually checked it out for the first. Also, who were the first person to screen your goddamn theme song and tell you it was the summer bop of 2024?
Right.
Irrelevant.
It is irrelevant. I was putting that out anyway.
But I actually was like, oh, I love Joe. I love Brendan. I saw a clip. I thought it was funny. I was like, let me check out Brendan's
good
podcast.
It's a good episode. Did you watch the whole episode?
No, I think I sent you something about it where I was like, oh, dude, this is a bit. Like, this is funny.
Right.
You should do this on stage.
Right.
And then then Brendan, it dawned on him what episode I was listening to.
I was going, oh my God.
Because then 15 minutes later, he calls and he's
Not
like,
15
hey,
minutes. It was almost instantly.
I have some news.
Yeah, I went, hey man, just so you know, I kind of say something a little whack about the Patreon. I was just kidding, but it does not sound like it. I'm just joking. And you, now this is evidence. Mike said, I don't care.
Right. Because I hadn't heard it yet.
Still evidence though.
That's true.
Put that in there.
I was like, hey man, you couldn't say anything that would hurt me.
Right.
And little did
Cut
I
to
know.
you in a suit at 11 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday.
But we have all the text too.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I will say, you know him well enough, I feel like, to know that, because I remember seeing the message physically. That I don't care from him is like, I do care for sure.
Right. But then sometimes he doesn't care. He's a hard book to read.
Yeah, but no ha-has, or I feel like it might have been a ha-ha, I don't care. If it's like a 3 ha-ha, you're in the clear. But I feel like it was very clear.
Damn, I wish I could find this.
I am very transparent with my ha-has. I let you know. If it's
Yeah.
a short ha-ha, then I'm not happy. But if it's a long ha-ha, I'll over ha-ha.
Okay, let's see.
It also is so funny to watch the development in our group chat, because Cannon initially texted us as like actively while he was listening before he got to that part, like laughing at the Feeney is a hack thing.
I was like, that was funny the way you said it, smiled and said just kidding into the camera.
Well, here's another piece of evidence. If I'm still in my giving out pieces of evidence to the ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube comments. After all this was said and done, after Joe had said, "Are you still friends with these guys?" I said, "Yes, I'm just kidding."
With what?
Well, after all that.
Oh.
Because I go, yeah, Cannon's pumping dog shit. He even asked me to do a hack burger review, which I'll stand by.
Fine.
As a fat guy.
What number of suggestion was that where I finally threw my hands up and I'm like, just fucking film yourself eating burgers. I'm like, you're already doing it. Just put your phone on you.
So after all that, I said, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm still friends with those guys. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, I think.
Which, by the way, I still think that people would love to watch you eat a burger and review it.
Oh, God. That's like asking like a black guy to eat a chicken wing and review it. You know?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? It's culturally tied to you?
Yes.
As a pasty white male,
Yeah.
they look at you and they're like, look at this burger-eating fucking idiot.
You don't know, you know? This is exactly how us minorities feel, you know? Like, as long as like
No, if I
these
said do a
straight
baked
white
potato
men,
review,
if
then
these
you could
straight
be-
white men just went, you know what? I don't know what it is. That's all we want, right, you guys? Right, y'all? All we want is, I don't know how it feels. Anyways, Nicole's got something to say.
Well, because we listened to it just before this, and Brendan was like, "Oh, I don't have a case." Listening to it, and I was like,
Turncoat.
No.
Turncoat.
Because I gave you a strategy, and you're not even using it, and it would have
Feeney
benefited
sucks,
you.
right? That is a good strategy.
I mean, you could have from day one.
Look, this isn't about you. It's all about Feeney.
Then
That's what
I would have been
should've
like,
said.
okay.
This is me trying to,
That's what I told him. I'm like, do it like the VP debate of go for the running mates. Like, don't go for each other. If you go for Feeney, you'll distract him, and he'll go
brilliant
on a different
tactics.
thing.
And I would have
Right.
He
completely,
blew it.
like a dog chasing a stick, I would have went completely after it.
right. We're still open. We still can do it.
You definitely can.
This is going to be a long case. This is going to go on all summer.
Summer's over.
Yes. So that's all my evidence that I have. I was trying to be funny. I said I was just kidding. I'm guilty and I'm sorry. And that's it. And also, if we're going, and that's all relevant, okay? If we want to get into irrelevance, and you've already mentioned it, the amount of shit that I took on Irish Goodbye and
Sure.
on Here's the Scenario and all
Sure.
that stuff.
You don't think it was equally doled out?
I say one shitty thing about you and Hack
But
Feeney.
the shit that you take was what? Always done with what? Like in
tongue in cheek in a way.
Certainly,
But I would be listening to Irish Goodbye, and I'm like, that does not sound. And I
From
would
me?
text you guys, and I
From
would go,
me?
"This, yes, both of you." I would go, "This is a little too much."
New case,
y'all guys.
What episode?
Oh, I have to gather all that evidence.
Fair enough.
Which would be painful to go back and listen to.
Then I'll tell you know what? Even if I've meant it once or twice, or not even meant it, but came across not funny and just
Right.
more piercing than anything like that, then I apologize.
Okay, well, in a court of law, apologies are like, bees. Like they're nobody wants them here. I don't know. That was a little writing prompt for me. Apologies are like bees.
Yeah, I know that they have that written in every courtroom in America.
And remember, the judge is like Southern guy. And remember, Mr. Cannon, apologies are like bumblebees. They don't have any place in a courtroom. Proceed. You go walking while black. You see that guy on TikTok?
No.
There's this like judge that's awesome, and he's like, some guy was like, some black kid was like, yeah, I'm in here for like a bag of weed I had and shit. And he's like, okay, so what happened? The officer's like, he was walking illegally across the street, and he goes, oh, jaywalking? And he goes, walking while black. And then he said to the black kid, and he goes, the world is against you. You got to be careful. Get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
That's what you're hoping happens here today.
Yeah, I'm hoping you look at me and you go, look, the world's against you. You got to be careful. Talking while fat.
You know what? I had that cocked ready to go, but instead I was like, no, why
Good
be
for
mean
you.
to my friend Brendan?
Because it would ruin your case.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't
That's
care.
right. Paint me in an
You don't care.
unfavorable light.
Okay, so closing statements.
Wait, we also do have the text message from Mike.
Oh, let's do it.
It's I don't care at all.
Okay.
No punctuation, no ha-has, nothing.
I don't care at all.
To which Brendan replied, ha 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 ha, okay.
Ooh. Well,
I thought that was funny. A lot of laughters there.
what is it? What was the initial text to get me to say
let's
I
see
don't
what-
I
care
don't
at
have
all?
that. All I have is
Oh,
I don't care at all.
I'll look up I don't care
Ha
at all.
ha ha
Oh,
ha.
because I initially, I think the whole thing, I got you guys in a group, and I was like, the pod's great, like so funny,
Yes.
like I like this part.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, by the way, there's a part where I really,
Yeah.
I insult you on a pretty serious level.
Yeah, you said he was side texting you apologies.
He was.
So initially it seemed like a
Find
joke,
it.
and then it very quickly was not a
Do
joke.
we remember the date that this happened?
Yes. It's been recorded in evidence. This was on
Okay.
Thursday, August 29th,
August 29th. Okay.
11:37 a.m.
August 20th, September. I'm in September. Okay.
Well, it's August.
Okay. Still in September. I'm sorry.
You cut all this out, right?
No, we usually keep this stuff in.
Good.
Really
like to
high
keep it
quality
real.
It's
producing.
quality over quantity, you know?
And give me a clip, and I'll post the clip today
What?
for your special.
I don't want you to.
All right.
I don't want your followers to know about me.
They know about you.
I know, and they.
What is it, August
They've
26th,
made it
you
clear.
said?
Huh?
August 26th?
29th,
29th.
11:37 a.m.
There's a picture of your baby, your new baby. Okay, here. So this is what I go. So I say, by the way, wasn't going to mention this because I was hoping you weren't going to hear it. But I do shit on our Patreon for a second in the Joe episode. I was trying to be funny. And I said Feeney wasn't putting shit on it and Cannon was just filling it with shit or something. But I listened back and I was like, this looks super serious. I hope the guys don't hear it. Cannon sent this picture of himself.
Wow, I look
he says,
so
I don't care at
pissed.
all.
Dude,
Well,
look at
this-
the deepness of the 11s.
That was
Yeah.
in response to you being pissed about the hack burger thing, and then literally within 12 hours of before that, Brendan said that he wanted to get a 6-foot burger canvas to put behind, which is really what pissed you off. I think that led this to the
It
next
needs
level.
to be my idea.
That's
So-
exactly what it is. I'm not even trying to give you something so I have it over you, which I think is your whole fucking mentality. Where if I do that idea, then I'm he's part owner, or it's just some weird. I don't know, dude.
feel
You're
that way
a
at all.
goofball. It's just
owner.
gotta be your idea, or at least you have to convince yourself that it was your idea.
I think burger on the table, burger canvas is fine.
Sure, this was years ago.
Right.
This was pre-burger on the
Burger
table,
reviews.
pre-burger on the wall. This was just when
Mike's
your
like,
burger
why don't you
interest was
shake your
lower.
belly in time to see how long it'll last, you fat fuck? I'm going,
I didn't do that.
no. Okay, so that's what I said. I think that's pretty good. Mike said, I don't care at all.
Sure.
I said, okay, haha, okay. And then
Because do you know
did
what I
say,
thought?
stay tuned to see if that's true. You did say, stay tuned to see if that's true.
Well, because I assumed you're we had no followers, we made no money.
No,
we
no.
were just we
More
were
personal.
constantly putting up content and nobody gave a shit. All
Right.
completely fair game and accurate.
Right.
And then when I see you dead face being like, Cannon's, he's just creating constantly and none of it's very good. And he's just
That's
putting it
not
up
how I
there
said.
and nobody.
I think it's very important the way I said it, which is, and Cannon's just putting in dog shit or something like that. There is something funny to it to me. Calling it dog shit or horse shit. is-
Listen, I'm sure if it wasn't me, I would have laughed.
Yeah,
but it is
yeah.
me, and therefore I'm crying.
Okay, so that's all the evidence. Closing statements.
Closing statements, I accept your apology. And honestly, I feel like this really is anticlimactic, and I really should.
Climactic.
Yeah.
Is it climactic? Anticlimactic. Climatic.
Climactic?
It might be climactic. Is it climactic?
Anticlimactic.
Oh, God.
Climax. So it's climactic. It's climactic.
Anticlimactic. Anyway, yeah.
What
this
is
does-
it?
I don't know, and it's gonna, and I guess we're gonna just move on.
I mean, we probably could have done that 6 minutes into this
Right.
case, too. I really put on this suit for no goddamn
I
reason.
know. I wish it did end with us fighting or something,
Or
fist
just any
fighting
kind
or
of
something. Look at you,
interesting-
loosen the tie up.
Yeah,
You go.
no, all right.
You go. Okay, so that was your closing statement. You accept my apology. My closing statement. I'm sorry, and it'll never happen again. Maybe we should have.
It's definitely going to happen again, by the way. Which
No. I'm going to be more aware of this
100%.
shit because whatever. You're right.
Let it fly.
It'll
Who
probably happen
cares?
again. Who cares?
It got us together in suits.
I know. I was like, I wish we could do this all day.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with these other fucking fruitcakes that we have coming on the show tonight.
Who do you have?
See, now, cut to another case of fucking.
Next episode.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know exactly who Brendan's talking about.
Like, oh my God. Yeah, I would rather do this all day. Because what was that, 20 minutes? So, okay, that's our closing statements. We'll let the jury, I guess, figure it out. But if they're the people's vote, what's the electoral vote here?
The
Right? Does that
Electoral
make
College.
sense? What does that make? So you're the judge now. What do you think?
I don't even know what
Am
to
I-
vote on because you basically just admitted you were wrong from the first second of the conversation and apologized.
Yeah.
Right. Does that hurt his case, though?
Does that hurt my case for admitting I'm wrong? Your Honor, does admitting that I did it hurt my case at all?
That's like OJ being like, yeah, I killed her, but I didn't mean to.
Well, yeah. I'll write a whole book about this, being like, I wasn't serious, but if I was,
If I was
it
serious,
would sound like this.
it's just an exact copy of what he said.
That's actually a good idea for like a comics book, where it's like, if I ever write a memoir, I'm going to be shitting on everybody.
Yeah.
And it's going to be called I Wasn't Serious, but if I was, it would look like this.
That's a great idea.
Such a good
That's not
idea
bad.
for a book.
It is funny when like anybody gets to that point of their career where they're just ready to set fire to their entire life.
Right.
Like they're like, okay, all these connections that I've ever had, all these secrets, all these like, industry, whatever. They're like, whatever, burn it to the ground. Who gives a shit?
I know.
I'm 60.
I know. I'm doing that now. I mean, there is like a line that you have to avoid, because then you could become someone like Owen Benjamin or whatever, where you're just kind of like
A
just
flat earther living in a log cabin.
Right,
in the
yeah, just
desolate
being
woods.
like, nobody's good, But I do, like, I was on Skanks and I was like doing a rap or something. They asked me to rap. Like, Alex texted me and she's like, do you want to do Skanks tonight? And I go, yeah. And she goes, can you write a rap for us? Because we're gonna talk about the battle rapping and stuff. And I go, you want me to write a rap? And she's like, yeah, could you? And I'm like, all right. I was like, that'll be fun. Whatever.
And you did it?
Well, we got to the point where they were talking about the battle rap. This was before it happened, and we're talking about it, and we're going over the rules and everything. And I have this thing that I wrote that they kind of memorized ish, and I'm like, when are they going to ask me? And then they just never asked me, and I was like, oh man, I wrote this whole fucking thing.
Let's
and then
do it now.
Well, I did it on the show.
Damn.
So what I was saying was, I was like, I could spit a little something. I was like, I got a little something in the chamber. They're like, okay. Well, none of them cared. They're like, okay. And I was like, all right. And
Dude, if that's the bit, that's the best bit I've ever heard. Where Alex asked you to write a rap and then you had to volunteer it and shoehorn your own talents into the show.
Alex was like, wow, this worked better than I thought. What a fucking idiot. But I was like, oh, let me just write some raps let me just take shots at a bunch of stand-ups that are more successul than me or whatever.
Oh, is your Brendan Sagalow How to Rob?
Exactly. It was exactly. I was doing How to Rob, and I was like, I said something about Schultz, and I said da 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 da, and I got this big laugh on this Shane one, and I was like, okay, and I got fucking greedy,
Yeah.
and I went, I got one more, and they were like, all right, say it, and it was about Theo, and I said something like, I forgot what it was, but it was something about him not paying his openers or whatever. And I could see everyone like, ugh. And I was like, shit. I was like, I was like, fuck, I went too far. God damn it.
And that's the clip.
I know. Well, somebody sent me a clip and by the way, I just said that because of the drama around it, like of the rumors that it's Theo and everything. The rumors? I don't know, whatever. He didn't pay me very well. But I heard he's, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? It was a nice opportunity. Doesn't matter. It's
Great.
I'm freaking out. But somebody sent me a clip of Soder on the regs going like, bah, 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 like saying who it was. And then it cuts to me being like, and Theo didn't pay me. And I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. So, but it's all still jokes. You know what I mean? Should we cut that out?
I'm just laughing about the potential of this being clipped with you dressed the way you are right now. In your socks, gripping your foot.
Oh, Your Honor.
Your buttons are popping open.
I know this shirt's a little. I wore this shirt. I got this shirt when I was a little skinnier.
Who was that? Like the mayor of Toronto or whatever.
Oh,
that guy.
What's his
That,
name?
like Chris Farley looked like.
Yeah,
and,
he smoked crack.
You literally
I know. I do look like I'm like, what's his name? Look at the mayor of Toronto. There were two mayors of Toronto that smoked crack, by the way.
Really?
Marion Barry.
I thought he was Detroit.
Oh, he might have been Detroit. Yeah, but imagine two mayors. I mean, I guess that's not crazy.
Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but
Rob Ford.
Rob Ford.
Rob
Yeah,
Ford,
Rob
yes.
Ford. I do look like Rob Ford. I'm like, what? What?
that's your impression.
That's my impression of him. What? What did I do?
Rob Ford angrily confused.
Yeah.
What?
What? What did I do?
I mean it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just talk. Yeah, see, my problem is that's me.
Is that God, unbelievable.
What? God, what?
Please include that picture.
Right.
Thank you.
So whatever. Sometimes I let my mouth go a little, but it's like, where's the line? You know what I mean?
There's no line.
You gotta go. You
There's
gotta
no
go.
line.
But as a
Listen,
person, as a comic,
I'm being sensitive. Of course, I'm being sensitive.
Well,
you're
you've had a
also
long
you're catching me
couple
in
of
the
months.
middle of a 2-year-long mental health
Yeah.
crisis,
Yeah.
and it just crescendoed in the last several months. And I heard that at probably the worst possible time.
I know.
Of just catching all this shit from different angles,
Right.
all these different letdowns, everything, and then that came up, and I was like, even my fucking friend.
Yeah, you got.
Like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
you're
I literally
you were-
was working out
I
at the
know.
time, about to tear my a fucking tree fell on my house. The hospital destroyed my car. The baby went back up into Nicole's esophagus. It was like just fucking turmoil, all this shit happening and falling apart.
And then
I'm
even your
just like,
best
and then my
friend in the
best
whole
buddy in the
world.
world was like, this guy fucking
I
can't
know.
create good content if it fell on his goddamn dick. Thank God Nicole signed onto this show and latched herself to the real talent. And I'm just like,
Totally get it. I've sent that exact same text messages when I was sending text messages about Irish Goodbye, because that was coming more frequently. I was just like, guys, come on, and then you'd be like, we're kidding, which actually is very helpful. Because I was thinking about it with Lev, because Lev, I'm very ball busty with him, because
Sure.
that's the vibe he lets in.
yes.
And here's my problem too. Because I thought about it, I was like, this was years ago, and I was like, why does everybody like busting my balls so much? And I was like, oh, because I'm funny with it. Like I take it and I laugh with it and all that stuff.
Can I tell you exactly why?
Why?
Is because you are the best fucking ping pong partner of all time. Like you're the best
Right.
when it comes, you take a shot at you and you either like hit yourself in the face with the paddle or you have an amazing, you trip, fall, and you're like, I'm going to score a point. And then you just do an insane
Right.
save and you score a point. You're like, what the fuck? So it's like, there's nobody I like doing comedy with more.
Right.
And that's why you're too brute,
I know.
too fat.
I know. Well, it's too fat. I know. Well, I totally get it. At Skankfest, Lev, I love busting his balls and everything, and
I'm sweating. So
and sometimes I go. I know, me too. Sometimes I go a little hard with him, and especially after this whole Lev sucks thing that he was like, hey man, like what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know, dude, And then we sit down, so we're in the tent, we're in the smoking tent, and it's you, me, Joe List, Feeney, Karen, who Lev was there, who else? Like it was
a great hang. It was fun.
And we're hanging out, we're smoking, and Joe goes, let's do a wave. And because we're all sitting in a circle. So he's like, let's do the wave. And everybody goes like this, right? And he goes, no, you got to stand up. You got to stand up. And I go, if Lev stands up, the whole chair's coming with him. Who cares? And Lev was like, you could see, when someone's pissed?
Yep.
When someone's pissed and they go, they can't, and this happens to me all the time. When I'm actually upset, I can't articulate myself in like a funny way. You know what I mean? I'm always like, oh yeah. Like I'll start picking apart someone actually, and it's not good even. It's not even like, look at you fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, fucking, suit, it's not good. And Lev started doing that to me, and he was like, you're fatter than me. And I was like,
And who was the first one to fucking shoot the extinguisher on that bullshit?
yeah, you were like, no,
I
no,
said,
he's
I
not.
apologize, Lev, for being this honest, but no, he very isn't. It's like you are a wider human being at this juncture of your life.
And
I don't think it's going to be forever.
And he's going, what?
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Which is like, you knew, you're just pretending because you want to actually hurt my feelings.
I don't know if he did know.
He did know.
I don't know, dude. And here's the thing. Like I said, I don't think it's forever. I think Lev is on his own weight loss
Yeah,
journey.
he's
He's
losing
going to
weight.
get back. He'll keep
be
the
back
weight in
to
the right
fat,
places. He'll have big puffy lips.
Yeah.
But either way, wish you all the luck in the world. That's so you know I'm joking.
Yeah, we're all joking.
But it was a moment where I think he was like, oh no. Oh no.
Maybe that was his rock bottom. But I actually, as someone who who has been there, that upset. Like, I probably hit him at a wrong time, too. Like,
Totally.
you know.
We're all at the wrongest time
Yeah.
all the time. It's like comedians act like we're the most ball busty, blah, blah, blah. And then we have
I
a
know.
problem literally anytime anybody makes a joke at our expense.
I know.
We're the biggest fucking tissue paper pussies of all
Yeah, we
fucking
go,
time.
you don't get to say that to me. I'm the smart one. And
Don't you know I'm dealing with something? Do you not know?
Yeah. So I could just tell Lev was like serious and being like trying to hurt my feelings. So that's when I started going like, because everybody's going, you are fatter than him, Lev. You are fatter. And I'm going, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, I hate that this is all true. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to like be nice to him. And then I see him later that night and he comes up to me and he goes, I'm like, what's up, man? You know, he gives me a little pat on the back or whatever. And he goes, hey man, like, he goes, are we okay? Because he got up from that. So after that, he did that whole thing. Everybody's calling him fat. And then he gets up and I sit next to Mike and I go, I really hurt Lev's feelings there. And Mike was like, yeah, you did.
You 100%.
You 100% did. And then later that night, are we okay? And I went, yeah, man, I just like busting your balls, dude. And he's like, I can feel a little like contention between us. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. I don't know. Maybe there is because fucking you're at the cellar and there's only so many fat guys there. You know what I mean?
That's the rule in comedy.
Yeah.
Only so many fat guys can fit in the building at once.
Yeah. That's right. Brian Scalaro does the 2 a.m. spots because he's on his way out. Lev is the new fat guy. There's no contention, Lev.
Yeah, see, this is exactly the problem, though, is
know.
that it spirals into a real thing
I
of
know.
like, you know, and at the cellar, and I'm just, you know, I haven't gotten all the spots that I want lately.
Not
so
really getting a lot of spots there that
I'm
much
gonna
lately. You know,
pick at you a little bit because it
Well, you
makes
know
me
what?
feel better.
Yeah. Well, good. Fuck them. Fuck you.
Lev?
Yeah. Fuck you, bro.
You.
Yeah. Why don't you go to a baseball game and suck your own cock? No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Dude, you're going to catch so many cases.
I know. I'm gonna spend so much money on lawyers.
I hope this whole podcast becomes just a court podcast.
Yeah, just
you
me having to
defending yourself.
defend myself.
in a
Look, I'm
wrinkly
sorry.
suit.
Brendan's
I'm
had
kidding, but my face isn't.
Brendan's had 600 cases this year of I'm sorry versus the person.
The people
Look,
versus I'm sorry.
The people versus I'm sorry.
I mean, that's the title of the episode, 100%.
The people versus I'm sorry with Mike Cannon. That's so funny. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I let my mouth do the fucking doesn't matter.
We all do. I admire it about you, to be honest, is because you have this unaffected way of speaking where you don't consider consequence, you don't consider other people's opinions, and I'm not saying this as an insult. I'm saying
take it
this
as a compliment.
I'm saying this as a complete compliment because in comedy also it's all there is.
Yeah, that's
and
what
when
it
you
is.
become insecure is when you really fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at that exact moment where I'm like, I felt like I was getting comedy yips. I haven't
Yeah.
been funny on a podcast in a calendar year. And so I'm just like panicking. I got this special coming out, all this shit,
Yeah.
baby, all, you know, trees, what you name it.
Trees. Oh, the tree fell on you. I was like, tree. What is trees? Trees are catching a
Dude,
stray.
imagine if a tree
You go,
killed
fucking
Nicole.
birds.
Imagine if that tree killed Nicole like a week before she gave birth.
Oh my
It was
God.
3 feet away.
Oh my
It was
God.
fucking nuts.
Oh, you don't say you're not funny on podcasts. I wonder why. You're going, imagine if that tree killed my pregnant wife.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know,
Waiting for a rim shot.
you see me on tour.
Well, I'll tell you what. You get a free, and I said this to you before, free pass to come on this show whenever the fuck you want. If you're ever feeling like, oh man, I haven't been. What do I need to fucking spell it out for you?
This is like inviting me into the deli I co-own.
What do you think you got fucking? Mike is an executive producer
That's
of the
right.
show.
Start listing me as executive
we have to put
producer,
at the end
please.
of this. We have to put executive producer Mike Cannon.
100%.
Yeah, like how it comes up in Boy Meets World, executive producer
Yeah.
Mark Jacobs.
And quality over quantity.
Yeah, quality over quantity, and whatever. But anytime you want, if you're feeling the yips, you're feeling podcaster comedy yips, and you're like, I don't feel funny. You can come on this show anytime you want, and we can have at it.
Thanks, pal. You're gonna break me out of my Chuck Knobblocks.
Yes,
That's nice of you. Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
I'm
to
the
have.
Markel Fultz of comedy. I got a hitch in my jumper now.
Yeah. Also,
I'm
you
just
know,
making sports references that
I have
Brendan
no
couldn't
idea.
possibly
Yeah,
know.
I went. Yeah. No, but you also, you know, you can come on anytime. So I need to control. I need to have control of it. Here you go. No, what is this? Movie tickets? Long Island Railroad. Dude, it doesn't get any fucking trashier than that, right?
Dude, that's hilarious to have an LIRR as the fucking handkerchief coming out of your...
Oh, lost another case, babe.
What is that called? A boutonniere? No, the boutonniere is the flower.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to keep talking about that, though. There was something we were talking about, and then a fucking... Whatever. Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to get better than better at that on stage, because I feel like I got it fucking handled in real life. I just say whatever I want. Who cares? You know? But though I also feel like I'm like, I don't have enough to like do that. You know, that's where that line comes from, where you're like, who are you gonna be? Like, there's certain people that can, I think, just talk as much shit as they want.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
I
feel like I'm doing.
actually struggling to grasp.
To me, I feel like I'm doing a 50 Cent How to Rob or like some sort of Eminem kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Where he's just putting out names and all that stuff. Go fuck Puffy, you know, kind of thing. But I hate myself enough where I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, who are you, fucking Robbie Goodwin? You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference that I'm talking about.
3 weeks, Robbie Goodwin.
Yeah, he's doing a fucking Sandler impression on my couch. He's going, why did you say that so mean? Or whatever the fuck. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have enough love for myself to be like, you're
gonna affect somebody. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like more people are gonna like, who's this fucking bug that's just shitting on me?
That's what I mean. Is your self-esteem is to the point where you can say whatever because who would possibly care?
Right.
I get it.
Right.
That's a great place to be, dude.
But I also not who would possibly care, but who would possibly care, but also like you will be upset with me and not in a that's just Brendan kind of where it's like, you know, Kim Kardashian on the fucking on whatever radio show being like you hear she was on Breakfast Club and they're like, you hear Eminem shout on you in that one song. She goes, that's an honor. That's an honor to be shat on by Eminem. Like, no one's being like, that's an honor to be shat on by Sagalow. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, look at this fat fucking idiot in a suit that doesn't fit him. The fucking shirt is longer than the jacket. The buttons are popping out. Shitting on me. Who does this guy think he is?
I want you, the first late night you do it in
do it
this
like
suit,
this?
completely
Hey,
dry cleaned. I mean, how perfect would that be?
Yeah, wearing
if you
like
walked out on the
Vans.
Colbert, just mustard stain on your jacket. Who gives a shit?
Hey, this is what everybody thinks of this now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I wore my good suit because what is this going to get me? 14 followers on Instagram? Who gives a shit? Get your Pfizer shot. Take a hike.
should I wear this for the Don't Tell? We're doing the same Don't Tell show.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah,
that'll be
Friday.
fun. Yeah, I figured out my set. I think.
Dude, I'm in such a fucking weird place where like I have my set, and I was talking to you about it. Like, oh, let's just treat this like we're doing like, you know, late night or SNL for our specials. Like,
Sure.
you do like a show and
A little
do
highlight
a couple
reel.
of jokes. Yeah, here's my best jokes from my special.
Mhm.
But I'm like doing the joke. I'm like, I could kill, but you know, this is gonna be so fucking lame. But I just don't feel any substance in the material anymore. I feel like I'm just going through the motions of like where I'm like, I want that. I want to feel like was I telling you? I told Nicole this, but I showed Alan my special.
Yeah.
He wanted to see it. And he goes, let me see it. I'd like to see it. And he's like, you're funny. We're talking about the next.
How does this not have
He's
100K?
like, wow, he couldn't even get 100K. I go, well, actually, my YouTube started at like 3,000 and now we're almost at 10. So it is
That's
pretty
awesome.
much a success for me. He goes, well, we'll see. I don't know. But
Wait,
anyway.
was this a real conversation?
No.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
no, he wasn't. He was just like, you're funny. This is really funny. And so we've gotten through all of the compliments, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, but it also seems like you're not really getting into the things that you want to talk about. He's like, you say one joke or two jokes about this certain subject that you want to talk about. He's like, you're talking about like, why are impressions bad? And he goes, you have one joke about it, and then you kind of move on. You don't really feel like you're attached to the material. You just feel like you want to kill.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and he's like, you're not writing more. You're not. You know,
a therapist to comedians is a nightmare.
I know.
Dude, that sounds like an
he
absolute. I mean,
it's
great advice. He's correct.
Yeah,
I guess.
Well,
in
he
some
gave
capacity.
me good advice when he was like,
I actually find pull the ripcord, Brendan, to be one of your funnier attributes too. Though, is because you introduce a topic and then you sometimes don't even talk about the topic.
Right.
Well, and I think that's funny.
What we were talking about was like in the special. It's like it was like when you're worrying about kill. You are kind of just like, here's my joke, here's my next joke, here's my next joke. Where it's like the funnier I am is when I'm like, none of this matters, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And also I don't care about like the kill. I just kind of want to talk to these people, and if we're getting some laughs out, blah, blah, blah. Like I was watching a lot of those, don't tells, and it's like a lot of really funny people, but it's all like, I can't get through this. The person I was watching Yams, and I was like, this is good because she's just talking and she's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's where you want to get. No, we're talking shop too much, but that's kind of where you want to be. That's where I want to be because I feel like an audience is connected more to that person.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas like you can kill, but people are like, that guy was funny. What was his name? I don't know.
Right.
But if you're like really like connecting with the people, they're gonna like be like, I want to look this guy up. I want to see him talk again. That attraction, the attraction that audiences have to comics. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
No, I completely agree and understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to get there. And Alan, although he is just a therapist, he did have a good note. He goes, when you're writing, he goes, think about what you're not saying. He goes, think, what am I not saying? Because he goes, you do this in real life. He goes, you don't, he's like, because you're so afraid of conflict and stuff. He's like, you keep it in. You don't say the things that you want to say. He goes, when you were fighting with your last girlfriend?
Yeah.
And he goes, you remember when you would
Do you remember that 2-year span where you were fighting with that last girlfriend?
And I go, do I? I go, who? He goes, oh, God, we need to
peel back.
We need to, well, this is crazy. I go, I did? He goes, oh, jeez. No, but he was like, when you would fight with your last girlfriend, he's like, when you'd get to a point where it's like, you would hold in everything you wanted to say and all that stuff. And he goes, but then every once in a while, you'd fucking explode. And you'd just kind of let her have it in whatever way, that you.
With your fists.
With my fists. And you just, wake up and you'd be covered in blood.
Sometimes in a field.
That's where you want to get to. No, he was like, that explosion is like, that's the real.
Sure.
Like, that's where you should want to get to with. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously taking everything with a grain of salt because you're just a therapist, buddy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, I don't think that's bad. I think that's also just a good, that's a good note for outside of stand-up. It's just trying to be authentically yourself at an even pace instead of just unkinking the hose every now and again and firing horse shit at somebody.
Such a good way to say that. That could have cut 20 minutes out of this podcast if I just said it just like that. That's exactly what it is.
This is why we're good together, though.
I know. Mark and Branders. New co-hosts.
not the first or the last I'll be on somebody else's podcast.
I offer you sidekick position.
Yeah.
Don't talk too much.
Just don't tag me in the metadata.
And we're going to use a lot of clips where I'm funny. Okay? And you're just laughing. Whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like, that's like, to me, the next level that I want to get at.
Sure.
So I'm in this weird place right now where I'm trying to do that on stage with bits.
Yeah.
I'm not just going up and being like, let me talk and just see, but like having like ideas of like things I actually feel and all this stuff instead of being like,
well, it's also we're in a weird,
my not to shit on my own thing, but being like, oh, the dildo's so strong,
sure,
like
it seems like that now because you're done with the thought,
right?
Is you already moved on. But the funny part, the weird part is we both just filmed and we're in that transition period where we have new stuff, certainly not ready for tape,
right?
But it's enough to carry us through a set, and people are like, oh, it's good, it's great, but you know where it's at, So we're in this weird spot where it's almost like you just came like a minute ago.
Right.
And then like some hot chick shows up at your door and she's like, you ready to get sucked off? And you're
God.
2 hours. Like, can I just get blown in 2 hours? Because I would really enjoy it more. I could probably get hard for this and maybe even come if I concentrate enough.
Yeah.
But I'd be really good in 2 hours.
Right. I don't even feel that way. I feel like, I'll never be good again. I'll never be able to come again. In a good way. And that last cum sucked.
Yeah.
Like the last cum wasn't as good. Like it's like the last cum you didn't feel it's attached to.
The glow of the cum has worn off.
Yeah.
I get you. The warm sheen of cum has come down.
Yeah. So I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna wear for this fucking thing? Like, who cares?
You got it on right now, dude. Rent the Runway.
Hey, everybody.
Rob Ford edition.
Rob Ford here. Just look fucking nuts. You should be a suit guy. This looks good.
No, I've tried. I've worn. I've done like not. I guess benefits or like whatever where I had to dress in a suit. Dude, I bombed so bad at the first ever. I was like 8 minutes into my comedy career, and of course, Rockland Community College, my alma mater, hit me up to perform at like an alumni event, and I was like, "You goddamn right." They're like $300, and I was like, "That's $1 million."
Yeah,
I've never made $10 from comedy, let alone 300. So I was like, 100%. Let's do it. They're like 20 minutes. I was like, I got 40. I was like, let's do it. And I wore a suit. I thought it might be. I was like, I've dressed like a schlub all this time, but this time I'll put on a suit. We'll see how this plays. And wouldn't you know it? It didn't function very well.
No.
It wasn't the suit's fault. It was everything's fault.
Right.
But it was not only was I bombing, I was also.
I think one of these went off.
Should I stop talking?
No.
Okay. I was also massively uncomfortable. There's nothing worse than doing poorly while also being like, I don't like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So it was just, they had like a 10 by 12 foot floral arrangement right in front of me.
Oh
so
my
literally,
God.
I was performing on a parquet dance floor in one of those like banquet halls. There's giant
Oh
spaces
my
between
God.
these like 10 top tables.
Right.
But right in front of me is like the centerpiece of the Titanic.
What a
nobody could
mistake they
ever see
made.
me. I was bombing, eating shit, trying to see people. My like ex athletic trainer from my basketball team was there and just being like, Jesus, like just brutal. And then I get off stage to tepid whatever. I immediately order 17 drinks.
Right.
And Ross Bennett, who is a pros pro, had been doing, still is a great comic, but was doing it for like 30 years at the time. So like really just humming, gets on stage, gets brought up as the headliner, gets on stage and is immediately like, get these fucking flowers out of here.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Like 3 idiots picked him up and
Of
moved him. And I
course.
was like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
And then just proceeded to destroy what I considered and, saving my own self-esteem was
Right.
like, this is an unkillable room.
Right.
Nobody could do well
Right.
here. And then he gets up and just lights a fucking machine gun to the entire place. And I left just being like, I'll never do it.
That
I'll never be
experience
good.
is
And
like-
I'll never wear a suit again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You wear some certain things. Like if I wear a leather jacket on stage, I always bomb. If I wear anytime I wear anything that's like not a sweatshirt, I'll fucking bomb or something
Yeah.
like that.
Sorry, I'm doing parking.
That's okay. It's also funny, like or also I think almost. Oh, I think we're done. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. So people in the chat, who do you agree with?
I mean, you already know the answer
I
to
know.
that, buddy. Who do you
I don't
find?
know. I don't know. Sometimes they're a fair group of people.
They are.
I think I've cultivated
group.
a fair group of idiots.
You have a great support system. That's for sure.
I got that on
They
my
ride
side
for you.
Yeah,
They ride.
I got the people's vote, whatever
Yeah.
that is. What is that?
I get all the sad, mentally ill adults.
Yeah,
They're
I like
just
that. I'd rather that
I
than
connect with you, buddy. I also get furious
Right.
at the drop of a hat.
I'd rather that than like people who like regularly visit like the Opie and Anthony subreddit. I'd stay away from me. Anyway, so that was the show.
But Traumatized Animal out now on YouTube, and
Great
I'm all
special.
over the road. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you for taking the time to watch it with me
Yes.
before it's released.
It was amazing.
Thank you for the encouragement, and I hope you feel encouraged by me as well, and you can tell your people to lay the fuck off me.
Support Mike. He needs it. He needs it. Go shoot him some nice messages.
Just mentally.
Yeah. And go see you on the road. Where are you on the road anyway?
Yeah, MikeCannonComedy.com. I don't know when this is out, so.
Yeah, I'll do my fucking plugs in the monologue. But anyway, thank you guys. Executive producer Mike Cannon.
Mike Cannon joint.
This is Mike Cannon joint.
The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed, now here's my dumb voice. So recognizable, ski master, unreliable, diary of a guy who's higher than a freaking diving board. I'm tired, call me biting you as lame cause you align with your wardrobe. Give that back, you ain't that guy, bro. Kaleidoscope stripping, goddamn I'm tripping, sipping shroom tea, looking at a blank television. Got a girl here gripping, thinking we'll do some business, but that's the last thing that I want. Seriously. Big dog, I'm on shirts now. Still scared that my house is gonna burn down. I'm a rare card, an old Charizard, getting BJ's on a bench of a promenade. Don't know what to do, I got a lot of problems, lot of emotional truths. I menage them, I'm getting robbed every time I get a coffee, cause $6 is just too much.
Keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. But all you do is wrong.
Dream team, me and Galene and the four Beatles, kidnapping whores illegally, pumping them full of needles, eating Chinese till Steven asks us to order a pizza. Walk to run to get it, I can't do either. It's Sagdaddy the pod, don't think twice, just bob your head, dealing your chicken with no rice. It's Sagdaddy the pod, and on God I won't stop unless I wanna, that's kinda the deal, huh? It's Sagdaddy the pod, no need to deviate, your ears are not the only holes that I'm about to penetrate. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so thanks for tuning in, Truman Show flow, if I don't see you, you can suck my dick.